Alright, so good morning class. Today what we are going to be learning about is how to dress properly for sailing and going out sailing. So our main objective for today's lesson is to be able to choose appropriate clothing based on the current weather conditions. So let's get started with a little bit of a lesson. So for hot, our main idea when it's hot outside, how to dress, is to keep cool. So it's important to keep cool because we want to make sure that we don't end up overheating and then we can get dehydrated and then eventually we can get heat stroke. None of us want heat stroke. That's not a lot of fun. The other thing that we want to do is we want to also keep out of the sun. We want to stay out of the sun because of the UV, like the harmful UV radiation coming from the sun, and we also don't want to get burned, right? Plus, if we stay in the shade, it'll allow us to be a lot cooler. So there's several ways to do this. The first of which is we can wear a hat. So hats are good because they keep us cool, they keep the sun off of our head, they provide shade for us to be in because it's very difficult to get shade out in the middle of the lake, right? So we want to make sure that we're always wearing a hat at all times. I see both of you are wearing a hat. Very good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're wearing sunglasses, right? So we always want to wear sunglasses because it helps keep the glare off of the water. Make sure that we can, see the marks. It's very difficult to see the marks if the sun's reflecting off the water and getting your eyes. It also helps protect us from the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun, right? We don't want to get that eye damage. The third thing we want to wear is we want to wear a t-shirt. T-shirts are great. They help keep us cool, right? They keep the sun off of us, but they still give us lots of open area for us to help cool down, right? And so one of the last things we want is sunscreen. Now sunscreen is really important, and I can't stress enough, we all wear sunscreen because we really don't want to get really bad burns out there. Sunburns are really bad. Later on in life it can lead to some health problems, so we want to make sure that we're being sun smart right now and we're wearing our sunscreen, right? And the last thing, and probably the most important thing that we want to wear, is our personal flotation device, or PFD. We always want to make sure we're wearing our PFD when we are on the water, because if we slip and fall in, we want to make sure that we're able to float on the surface. So our next thing is how to dress when it's cold outside. So unlike hot, our main focus when it's cold outside is to keep warm, right? We want to make sure that we can fight off hypothermia. And the other thing we want to do when it's cold outside is make sure we're dry, because it's a lot easier to stay nice and warm and have all that internal body heat when you're nice and dry. So the ways that we can help stop getting cold is to wear a splash jacket. So splash jackets are really good. I have one over here. This is an example of one. It's insulated, right? So it keeps you nice and warm. It's covered with this kind of material where the water, when it hits it, just beads up and rolls right off. So it keeps you nice and dry during the entire time. So if you guys want to take a look at that.
Oh, this is really nice.
Cool.
Oh, you know what? I think you're really good to wear.
Yeah.
I can see why you'd want us to wear that.
So the next thing we want to wear is splash pants. So this is a set of splash pants that I have. They're very similar to the splash jacket, except instead of keeping our body and our arms warm, they keep our legs warm. So it's the same kind of thing. They're insulated to keep our legs nice and toasty warm, and they're also covered with the same kind of fabric to make sure that the water just beads up and rolls right off to help keep us dry. So you guys want to take a look at that too?
Nice. You have straps going over the shoulders, I see. And keeps them up. Good idea.
Oh, they're very good. Okay.
All right. So the next thing that we might want to wear is a wetsuit. So wetsuits aren't very good at helping to keep us dry, as the name kind of implies, but they're very good if you are wet and helping to keep you warm. So you might want to wear this if it's pretty windy out and you might fall off the boat. You might want to wear a wetsuit to help keep you nice and warm after you've fallen in.
How do they work?
They work by keeping the water close to our body, so it heats up the water and then it keeps you nice and warm. So you use the water in the wetsuit as an insulator.
Oh, okay.
And so the last thing we want to wear is gloves. We want to make sure we're wearing gloves, not only in cold, but mostly for cold. We can also wear them for when it's hot out too. But we want to make sure we're wearing gloves because when your hands get too cold, they kind of lock up and you can't hold onto the tiller or you can't pull in any of the sheets, right? It also helps protect us against rope burn, and rope burns leave pretty bad blisters. So we always want to make sure we're wearing gloves, especially in cold. So now, using the information that we've just taught you, we're going to have a little bit of a competition. Here I have 5 sets of cards. And what you are going to do is they all have pictures of things you might use when it's hot or cold out. You're going to take these cards and you're going to put them in either the hot or the cold category, depending on where you think they should go. So, let me just erase this. Alright, so, go ahead.
Okay, let's see here. So I have a wetsuit, so I think I'm going to put this here under cold. I have a spray jacket, so I'm going to put this here under hot. And my sunglasses I'm going to put under hot.
I'm gonna put the TFE over both, because
Oh.
we have to wear it all the
Well,
time.
yeah, then, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing, because I have to put that under both. And the sunscreen, I guess with the sunscreen, I'm going to put that here under hot.
And the gloves are gonna go here. And so we have 2 more. And I would say both of these will go on the cold side, the spray pants and the t-shirt.
Alright, all done?
All
Yep,
done.
done.
Good. So, we'll start off with the hot side first. So, first off, we have the spray jacket. Now, that was Mom. So, Mom, why did you put the spray jacket on the hot side?
Because I thought I wanted to keep the sun off me.
Alright, that's a good point. But remember what I said, the spray jacket's insulated, right?
Oh,
So we want to make sure, it's good that it does keep the sun off of you. However, it'll keep us really warm, but it's already hot outside. So do we
That's
really want to
true.
stay warm when it's hot?
no,
No.
that should have been cold.
Do you think we
then.
should move it to the cold?
It should be moved to
Okay,
cold.
let's move that over to the cold side then. Just put that up there. Alright, next up we have the sunglasses. That was Mother's also. So, Mom, why did you put the sunglasses on the
Well,
hot side?
because I'm thinking that if it's hot, it's probably sunny,
Good.
and I want to keep the glare out of my eyes.
Very good. That's good. Perfect. So, hat. Dad, that was yours. Why do you think we should always wear a hat?
We have to
That's
wear a hat during the, when it's hot out, because there's been a lot of sun. It keeps the sun off our head, so that cuts down on, that stops us from overheating, provides shade to our face.
Very good. So, yeah, those two are right. Sunglasses and hat. Alright, and sunscreen. Mother, you had sunscreen. Why did you put that in the hot area?
Because I need to protect my skin from the sun.
Very good. So we always want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves from those harmful ultraviolet lights. So, in the cold side, now we have the wetsuit first. Mom, why did you put the wetsuit on the cold side?
Well, you said that the wetsuit works by acting as the water in between the suit and the skin to insulate.
Good.
The
Good.
water will get warmer. And if it's cold and I get wet, then it's with my wetsuit, I will be actually warmer.
Good. So that's right. The one problem with wetsuit is that you kind of stay cold when the water's heating up, but once the water is warm, you're good for a long time. So you're just a cold at the start, but other than that, you're fine. So next we have the t-shirt. Dad, why did you put the t-shirt on the cold side?
That would probably work as a pretty good base layer for your spray jacket. So I thought you gotta start there.
That's a very good point. So it does act as a good base layer for our spray jacket. We want to be wearing a t-shirt underneath our spray jacket. However, t-shirts aren't very good at keeping us warm just by themselves, right?
No,
They're very good at cooling us off. So, just by itself, do you think we should move the t-shirt over to the hot side?
by itself, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move that over. Next up, we have gloves. So why do we wear gloves, Dad?
We want to keep gloves are a great idea in cold weather because your hands will get cold from the spray. And the thing is, if you have the gloves on, they will keep them nice and warm. It also protects your hands both in hot and in cold from getting rope burns and blisters.
Good job. So yeah, that one's right.
So wait a minute here, couldn't we have put that one right in the middle then as well?
That one could be both, but it's better at keeping your hands warm too. So we're gonna leave that on the cold side.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, we have these spray pants. So Dad, go ahead. Why did we put the spray pants on the cold side?
The spray pants are on the cold side because they help keep a spray off you. They work in conjunction with your spray jacket, so you stay nice and warm. And if it's really cold, you have them over top of your wetsuit, and that helps you stay even warmer.
Very good. And so why do we always want to be wearing a PFD no matter what the temperature is?
For safety.
For safety, right? Because if we slip and fall overboard, we want to make sure that we are okay. So
That's right.
now, going back to the main objective. Our objective for this lesson was to be able to choose appropriate clothing based on the weather conditions. So, Dad, when it's hot out, what are the two important things that we need to worry about when it's hot outside?
Keeping the sun off of us and staying cool.
Perfect. So yes, those are the two absolutely perfect. Now, Mother, what are the two that we need to worry about when it is cold outside?
Staying warm and
Staying warm, good.
Yeah.
So what's the other one? Do you want to be soaking wet when we're
no, I
cold?
want to be dry.
Good. So we want to stay dry too. Perfect. So that concludes our lesson. I will see you guys on the water.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, I think I understand it a lot better now.
You could wear a hat in both hot and cold, could you not?
That is true. You can.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.